an app.
This is an illegal war.
He needs to come to Congress immediately to seek an authorization for the use of military force.
It is illegal, and the president is obligated under the Constitution to come to Congress.
Nothing has been presented to justify what's taken place up until this point.
Democrats in Congress seem not thrilled, to say the least, with President Trump's decision to strike Iran over the weekend without first seeking congressional approval. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie, Senator Rand Paul, now teaming up with Democrats in their respective chambers to demand that GOP leaders bring Congress back into session immediately and hold a formal vote to limit Trump's authority to carry out additional military action. Joining me now, Republican Senator from Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin. He's also a member of the Armed Services Committee. Senator, you, of course, represent Americans in Oklahoma. Should you not have a voice? Should you not give voice to them in a decision like this?
Well, Casey, we've known that Iran has been a thorn in our side for 47 years. They attacked us multiple times. I think the president laid out a very clear message when he announced what was going on. There's no question the Democrats are aware of this. The Gain of 8 was briefed. Those of us that have sat in intel briefings understand the threat that Iran has brought to us. And the president is well within his authority here. You keep in mind, Barack Obama in 2016 dropped 26,000 bombs over 6 different countries. Not one Democrat said that he didn't have the right to do that. And when Barack Obama was in his first and second term, he kept saying he had the AUMF to be able to do it, the authorization of military force. And when the Democrats go out there and they say it's illegal, well, they say illegal and they say it's non-constitutional, but they don't tell you specifics on why it's illegal and why it's unconstitutional. Because underneath Article 2, Casey, the president has very broad jurisdiction when it comes to keeping Americans' interest home and abroad and being able to use military force. When you start talking about his authorization to use force, he has 2 obligations. 1, he has to inform Congress within 48 hours. He's already done that. And 2, within 60 to 90 days, he has to come back, and if it's going to be a war, he has to ask Congress for war. And if he's going to use the authority underneath the AUMF, which is still standing, then the president simply has to inform why he's doing that. And there's no question when it comes to the AUMF, which why it was passed for terrorist organizations that was trying to harm us. There's no question that Iran clearly fits in that picture, because we know, you and I, it's not even debatable, we know that Iran's been the #1 sponsor of war of terror around the world for decades now.
But, sir, doesn't that slip that you made underscore exactly why the American people are telling us in our poll that they don't want this? I mean, the memory of Iraq is still very fresh in a lot of Americans' minds.
Well, this isn't Iraq. We made that very clear. Pete Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth, made that very clear. This isn't the same approach. You keep in mind, we took out the leader within an hour. There was no direction between where we were going with Iraq and where we're going with Iran. When we have clear, precise targets that we're hitting, we're taking out their ability to launch missiles at us and our assets around the region. We're clearly not going to allow them ever to have a nuclear weapon, and that is very clear. We want to make sure that we're protecting all of our assets home and abroad, and we wanted to eliminate the threat. The threat's been around for 47 years. The Ayatollah has had a dream since he first came into office in 1979 to create a nuclear weapon. And there's no question if he had the opportunity, it wouldn't be if, it'd be a matter of when he would use it on us. And after 9/11, Casey, we said never again. Never again will we be caught flat-footed. Never again will we ignore someone like Osama bin Laden when we knew what his intentions were, but we didn't take him out. We knew what the Ayatollah's intentions were. They had been chanting death to America for 47 years. We gave them an opportunity for diplomacy to work, and it didn't.
Is this not a war of choice? The president ran, and did the president not run on not starting a war with Iran?
He ran on 2 things, ending wars. He's ended 8 of them. And he also ran on keeping America safe. This isn't a war. We haven't declared war. Everybody wants to say
I want to play the Secretary of Defense, who calls himself the Secretary of War, said today this is a war. Let's watch.
We set the terms of this war from start to finish. We didn't start this war.
but under President Trump, we are finishing it.
Is it really not a war?
What he declared on us was war, meaning us as Ayatollah. He declared war on us. We are not at war with the Iranian people. The Ayatollah who declared war on us, we've already taken him out. Now we're eliminating the threat. The Iranian people, we want to see them take back the country that the Ayatollah has been raping, pillaging them or from them for 47 years. So we're not at war with Iran. We're making sure that they do not have the capability to harm us anymore. They have killed thousands and injured thousands around the world, American citizens and military personnel for 47 years, and not one single president has had the backbone to do anything about it until President Trump, and thank God we have done something about it.
So Tucker Carlson, who of course has been close to President Trump over many years, a right-wing voice, talked to Jonathan Karl this weekend. He said that the attack on Iran that we saw President Trump authorize is, quote, absolutely disgusting and evil. So, Senator, my question to you is, why is Tucker Carlson wrong here?
I don't know Tucker Carlson. I've never sat down and shaken his hand. I don't know if I met him. Maybe I have, but Tucker Carlson doesn't speak for me, and I would say Tucker Carlson doesn't speak for the Republican Party either, or the president.
So do you think he's wrong here?
Absolutely, 100%. I disagree with a lot that Tucker Carlson says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene also added this to the mix of the conversation. She says, just like we're no longer a nation divided by left and right, we're now a nation divided to be those who want to fight wars for Israel and those who just want peace and to be able to afford their bills and their health insurance. Why is she wrong?
Well, if anyone, and I'm not going to discuss if Marjorie Taylor Greene is wrong or not, because I'm not knowing where she's coming from on this. But what I will say, not Tucker Carlson or Marjorie Taylor Greene, yourself or any Democrat that opposes this can say that the Ayatollah wasn't a threat to the United States and our interests home and abroad. We've known he's been a threat, and we know that he has been the #1 sponsor of terror around the world for decades. And so if any of them believe that this world would be better off with him still alive, I'd like them to make that case. I don't think that's the
argument they're making. I think.
And what's the argument?
The argument is not. I have not heard anyone who has been talking about this in this way say that Iran is nothing except for many of the things that you say, a sponsor of terrorism, that the Ayatollah, right. Many of those characteristics, sure. The question is, what should the United States be doing about that? Right?
Being proactive in eliminating the guy, just like we did in eliminating the threat. That's what the AEMF is all about.
How many Americans are you willing to see lose their lives in this fight?
Listen,
to make
one
this
is
worth
too.
It?
One is
We've already
too many.
seen
The
six,
problem
right?
is that, one is too many. The problem is we've already lost thousands. You can go back and have a timeline in which I know you know the timeline of how many times they've attacked us, going back all the way to 1979 when they took the students hostage, to the time that they've attacked our interests at sea and on land over the last 47 years. So we already lost Americans over this murderous regime. The question is how many more were we willing to lose before we finally done something? The fact is we're stopping it. President Trump has stopped it. He stopped future killings that this murderous regime, this underneath the Ayatollah, can do to our people home and abroad. So it's about time a president of the United States stood up and took care of this nuisance that's been around for 47 years.
Nuisance is quite a word for it, considering all the other things we've just attributed to them. But okay, Senator Markwayne Mullin, I always appreciate you coming and being willing to answer questions. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Casey.
All right, coming up next here in the arena, our panel is going to discuss this latest escalation, including just how long it will take in the administration's multiple timelines.
Caitlin Collins is your D.C. source, bringing you unprecedented access to the White House.